The Rise of Skywalker has another catastrophic drop on its next weekend. It isn't, Star Wars is just, the only reason why the gross is gonna pass $500 million is because of Christmas. If it didn't come out on Christmas, it will barely pass $400 million. It would have been a joke, and Disney will be wondering why the movie was a box office failure. And of course, Kathleen Kennedy will probably already been fired. But this movie is still doing worse than Rogue One, a Star Wars story. If you saw the comparison yesterday, Rogue One did not even dip to below 1 million until Wednesday, or until Wednesday at the box office. And Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker is still continuing to do terrible. Terrible is an understatement of this movie. It's box office, okay? A disaster. Okay, we compare it to The Last Jedi, it's doing worse than The Last Jedi. It is nearly 1.1 million behind, 101 million behind The Last Jedi. Which, if it continues performing like this, it will eventually be around, 120. It'll probably, eventually be around, and it's even behind Rogue One, a Star Wars story, which at this point is nearly 10 million behind Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Okay, Rogue One ended up selling $542 million domestically, and it's also 100 million behind The Last Jedi. So that means $520 million at the very least, but it's also only 5 million behind Rogue One. But Rogue One and The Last Jedi were performing pretty similar at this point because Rogue One has better legs than The Last Jedi. If you look here, Last Jedi and Rogue One were only 92 million apart, which means The Rise of Skywalker is doing at least 8 million worse than Rogue One. Okay, it goes 8 million less than Rogue One. So if it continues doing at this pace, that means if it mathematically goes neck to neck with Rogue One, and to the end it'll be at $524 million. Okay, but it continues dropping and dropping and dropping, expected to gross, but around 512 billion, which is around 108 million behind The Last Jedi, which is why I'm predicting how the movie will end up. It'll probably gross, which means it will gross another 12 million, I think. I think it's around, 15 to 18 million dollars domestically, which is pretty pathetic. Especially considering that in this fifth weekend, it only made 8 million. So I expect it to go half to 4 million. And the movie is going at 495 million, so it will pass. It will barely pass $500 million. And it'll continue going down, down, down afterwards, grossing half of The Last Jedi and Rogue One, and more than half of Rogue One. If it continues doing that, almost half of Rogue One, this movie is just doomed. 4 million, and then, another 2 million, and then 1.4 million, less than a million, and then around the same as The Last Jedi. Because The Last Jedi stopped performing well. It'll probably perform similar to The Last Jedi because The Last Jedi had a big drop. But considering that it's 9th week, it'll probably dip below 1 million, and then be 400,000 behind The Last Jedi. Don't expect this movie to be the big movie. It's really still make money for Disney, but it's not enough for Disney. Disney is a company that cares so much about money. And, there's this, someone made a video Odin made a video called Star Wars is still in the red. It is, okay? It is $3 billion still in the red. And Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker doing this poorly when it's the end game for the Skywalker saga is just not doing well, okay? It should be doing better than Rogue One, a Star Wars story, okay? We should be getting a live action, movie of Boba Fett and Obi-Wan. But we aren't, because Solo was a flop. And now The Rise of Skywalker is a disappointment. And of course, on the movies alone, of course, there's other factors in, considering the growth of Star Wars, like The Mandalorian, how the success of that. We don't know how much money Mandalorian made, but, and how much money, the TV shows made that Disney put out on, the Disney Channel, okay? So Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker is still doing terrible at the box office. No one wants to see this movie. So, anymore, this movie is dropping fast, and that's basically it. Goodbye.